While the list of people or things that is upsetting and angering Donald Trump on any given day is certainly a long one, we see him rant and rave and ramble at his rallies over the things that are aggrieving him. We see his unhinged Truth Social post attacking his enemies. It seems at the top of that list of grievances right now for Donald Trump is Bill Maher, who he has been consistently, for some reason, attacking on Truth Social lately, saying that he's always stumbling across his show and attacking it for being boring or saying that there's a laugh machine playing. He, of course, attacked Stephanie Ruhle as well, but Donald Trump's attacks on Bill Maher right now, his current obsession with him, has reminded me of one of my favorite moments of Donald Trump getting absolutely shut down, and at the same time, a Fox host in Megyn Kelly getting called out as well by Bill Maher. And I'm going to check out that interview between them because it is so incredible. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way in supporting the work we're doing. Now let's check out this first clip of Bill Maher absolutely shutting down Megyn Kelly in this great interview.
I don't know what could possibly be more fundamental to you or anyone than you have to concede elections. And he hasn't conceded the last one. He's plainly not going to concede this one. He now has all of his sycophants around him parroting his party line, which is when they ask them, will you abide by the election results? Yes, if it's a free and fair election, which is another way of saying if we win. You really think this is a place this country should be?
I'm not going to defend the election denialism. I'm not one of those people who believes that.
But what's more important? What kind of country do we have?
How about my daughter not going into a locker room and seeing a man's penis?
That's important too. I'm talking about the difference between this and something fundamental, which is our democracy. The fact that you have to respect who wins an election, or else you don't have the kind of country we've always had before.
How about...
I mean, I feel like we keep going around the Roseberry bush about this, and we're not going to make any progress, so let's stop talking about it. But, you know...
I mean, you keep saying sort of I'm nuts because I don't see the difference between the elephant and the mouse, and I'm telling you I identify them differently than you do. Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
First of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
Okay. I mean, you only get two choices.
That's right.
You get Donald Trump, a criminal election denier who is going to transform this country into an authoritarian place like we've never seen before, or you get Joe Biden with all his flaws.
Also
and
a criminal.
Problems. Okay, what is his crime again?
Special counsel Robert Hur said he'd committed felonies, but he wouldn't indict him because he was a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. He couldn't get a conviction in front of a jury.
And what was that crime? That was the...
Classified documents. All over his basement, his garage, everywhere.
Well, okay, here's the difference. Immediately, Biden, he shouldn't have had them. Immediately, he said, oh, sorry, my bad, and gave them back.
That's why he didn't get charged with obstruction. But Trump has two classified documents, pieces to his case. One is you had them, and the second is you obstructed justice when we demanded them back. So, okay, against Biden, you don't get charged with obstruction. But number one, where's the classified documents charged against him? He's also a felon.
You got your story. You know, I look.
Why can't the difference be one actually had the ability to declassify documents and keep them because he'd been the president, and one didn't because he should have been looking at documents only in a SCIF while a sitting U.S. senator, and clearly he stole classified documents that he wasn't entitled to and never had the ability to declassify them.
Yeah. Maybe you know more about that than I do. I don't remember that part of it.
Now, it's not a shock that Megyn Kelly was lying in this interview, and we will see plenty more lies in the rest of the clips that we're going to check out. But thankfully, Bill Maher was shutting them down. But chief among them, in the lie that we saw there at the end, is that President Biden is somehow criminally liable for classified documents in the same way that Donald Trump is, when it is the case that Donald Trump was purposely retaining those documents and he would not give them back after being asked multiple times, which was not the case with any other elected official who had accidentally stored classified documents, accidentally had them moved from their office to their home, something that consistently happens. But of course, Megyn Kelly right now isn't trying to get Joe Biden prosecuted. That's not what she wants to see. What she wants to see is distraction away from Donald Trump's very clear criminality. That's what she's trying to do here. That's what she was trying to do by deflecting. And it's what we see more and more from MAGA. It's what we always talk about on this show, why immigration is Donald Trump's favorite issue, because he doesn't have to talk about policy. He doesn't have to talk about substance. He doesn't have to talk about the failures of his own administration to work on comprehensive immigration reform. No, he can just fearmonger. He can just lie, and he can just attack, which is all Megyn Kelly could do in this interview as she continued to deflect. And we see it more in this clip right here.
I think on January 20th, 2025, he'll show up at the White House, whether he's invited or not. And I don't think that's going to be good.
He's gonna bomb in if he lost?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Bomb is a word I wouldn't even throw around lightly.
Oh, stop it. He's not going to do that.
Right. Like there was never an attack on the Capitol, Megyn.
I hear you. But he's not going to show up at the inauguration.
Like they didn't show up at the Capitol and break windows and knock down doors and kill cops and chase.
They didn't do that.
And they didn't break windows,
they didn't
knock
kill
down
cops.
They of course did.
No, they didn't.
Who did? They died of natural causes that day?
Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, the medical examiner, has determined that he suffered 2 strokes and died of natural causes.
Yeah, nobody died that day.
Cops.
No, not true. Who?
Okay.
Who?
Oh, I don't remember the names.
They didn't. There was Brian Sicknick, who died later after the fact.
This is a point that I 100% agree with Bill Maher on, and I think the media is doing such a poor job covering the ways in which Donald Trump is trying to sow doubt in the results of our upcoming election. He has already started attacking it. We saw today during his rally, and he consistently says this over and over again, that if it was Jesus counting the votes, then he'd win every state. He'd win California. He wouldn't have to campaign. This is what he continues to say as he tries to attack our elections, and more importantly, tries to intimidate election workers, those overseeing our elections, those certifying our elections. Because he doesn't want to win by votes. He wants to win by fear and intimidation and trying to steal this election like he did in 2020. As much as Megyn Kelly tries to deny it, that's just the truth. And this idea that Donald Trump wasn't responsible for what happened on January 6th is absolutely absurd to me. But again, this is MAGA. This is their hypocrisy. They back the blue until it's police officers on the Capitol. They're the party of family values until their presidential nominee had an affair with his third wife while she was pregnant. They're the party of faith, except their leader opposes that in every single way, as we see in this great ad from evangelicals against Donald Trump.
But you must realize that in the last days, the times will be full of danger. Men will become utterly self-centered and greedy for money.
My whole life I've been greedy. I've grabbed all the money I could get. I'm so greedy.
They will be proud and abusive.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals.
Uncontrolled and violent.
Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
They will be treacherous, reckless, and arrogant.
I am the chosen one.
Loving what gives them pleasure instead of loving God.
You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet.
Maintain a facade of religion, but their lives deny the truth.
Have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
That's a tough question. I'm not sure I have. I don't bring God into that picture. I don't.
Keep clear of people like that.
There are few people in this world who their entire existence is more antithetical to the ideas of faith than Donald Trump. It is so crystal clear, and we see him when he talks about how God spared him because God wants him to fix America because he's the only one who can do it. The way he talks about religion, and especially as a cult leader, makes it sound more like he thinks he's God than God thinks highly of Donald Trump. But again, that ad just spoke for itself. These are things that we have talked about so much, and we have to continue to hit home on this, not just on Trump, but on the hypocrisy of all of MAGA, because it is so incredibly important that not only do we elect Kamala Harris, but we are electing Democrats up and down the ballot. And that's why I want to take a quick opportunity to use this platform we are building together to talk about one of the most important and tightest House races in this entire election. And that is Democrat Jonathan Nez, who is running against a first-term and very beatable Republican in Eli Crane. Now, Eli Crane is an extreme right-wing Republican. He's a member of the Freedom Caucus. Yeah, that's Matt Gaetz, and he's a good buddy of him. He calls him his brother. And Eli Crane is an election denier. What a shock. He's a member of MAGA, and he's trying to intimidate poll watchers like we've already talked about with Donald Trump. They know they can't win these elections, and so they are trying to use fear to intimidate. But Jonathan Nez was the former president of the Navajo Nation, and he will bring the fight to protect abortion rights, oppose a national abortion ban, and work within his community like he already has. This is a Democrat who we need in Congress, and if you want to support him, in the description of this video, in the top comment, I will link a link for you to support his campaign with a small contribution. If you can do so, it really goes a long way. And until next time, I'll see you soon.